In the first fight on the main card, we have a striker and a grappler right here. This is Yanez, 31 years old, 5'4" inches tall. She's definitely the grappler in the fight, has some pretty good submission skills, and also has some pretty good striking. 2 submission wins, 2 decision wins, and 1 knockout win. Bert Shirt, 5 wins and 4 losses. Falima McFarlane, Alejandra Lara, beat Denise Kielholz, Emily Dakota, beat Brooke Mayo, lost to Bruna Ellen. She's been fighting inside of the Bellator for quite a while now, since 2016. This fight is probably a 50-50 fight, because if Bert Shirt keeps the fight on the feet, she most likely will win the fight by unanimous decision or get a KO TKO in the first or second round. But if the Yanez can get the fight to the ground, where she definitely has the grappling and the wrestling advantage, she will win the fight by submission in the first round or win the fight in a dominant unanimous decision. So one of those two things is gonna happen in the fight, either a knockout or a unanimous decision for Bert Shirt in the fight, or a submission or a unanimous decision win for the Yanez in the fight. And I gotta admit, the striking for this fight is pretty even. The Yanez can definitely compete with Bert Shirt in the fight, and when you got a girl like Bert Shirt, who is going out there and trying to finish you with strikes in the fight, trying to get that knockout, you kind of tend to overcommit just a little bit. That's been one of her weaknesses in her last 2 fights with Alejandra Lara and Lima McFarlane. I mean, Lima McFarlane, every single time she'd overcommit, she'd just go for the takedown, get her down, and dominate her on the ground. I think the exact same thing is gonna happen in this women's flyweight or strawweight fight right here. I think this Yanez is gonna get a takedown in the first round, get her down, get some ground and pound, go for some submissions, win the first round. In the second round, the same exact thing, and in the third round, the same exact thing. I think every single one of these rounds, the Yanez is gonna get a takedown, get her down, go for some ground and pound, go for submissions, and win this fight by 30-27 unanimous decision in her first fight inside of Bellator. That should be a very interesting flyweight fight right there. KO TKO. That is literally all I have to say. We have Paul Daly and Sabah Homasi. KO TKO. I mean, this is an amazing fight in the welterweight division. Paul Daly, 42 wins, 17 losses, and 2 draws. The man has been fighting since, I believe, 2003, sorry. Has so much finishes on his record. Look right here. 31 KO TKO wins, 2 submission wins, and 9 decision wins ever since he joined the side of Bellator. In 2015, decision win, first knockout, decision win, or decision loss, first knockout, second round knockout, decision win, and a second round knockout right there against Syed Awad. I mean, the man's striking is just so crazy, so fast, so powerful, with 30 plus KO TKO wins on his entire record. He has an amazing reach of 76 inches. I mean, come on, the man is an absolute beast. Even though he is 38 years old at the time of this fight, he is just so powerful, such an amazing striker. And then you got Sabah Homasi, 15 wins and 8 losses, has been finished by KO TKO 5 times in his professional MMA career. Lost the other 2 by submission, and then 2 by unanimous decision. Has a couple of wins, 10 KO TKO wins, 2 submission wins, and 3 decision wins. In my opinion, Sabah Homasi is gonna get the knockout, or Paul Daly is gonna get the knockout. It's really that simple. Both fighters have really good striking, and Sabah Homasi does not really have the best chin. Has been knocked out 5 times already in his professional MMA career. And Paul Daly sees the guy who's been knocked out already 5 times, and he has 31 knockouts on his record. He's gonna go out there and he's licking his mouth, because he knows if he lands one shot on Sabah Homasi, he's gonna put him down and land a lot of ground and pound and finish him in the first, second round. So that is exactly what I think is gonna happen in this fight. Paul Daly is gonna go out there, knock him down with a straight right hand, get him down, land a lot of ground and pound shots, and finish him in the second round by TKO. I think it's gonna be an amazing fight. Both fighters have so much finishes. 66% of his fights ending by finish. 75% of his fights ending by finish. I mean, it's absolutely insane. This fight's gonna be an amazing welterweight fight, but I do have Paul Daly winning the fight by second round TKO in this welterweight fight in the co-main event for Bellator 257. And now for the co-main event, this fight is a 5-round co-main event. Corey Anderson and Dovlet Yakshimuradov. This fight is for the tournament quarterfinals. In the co-main event in a light heavyweight fight. Corey Anderson, and a really good striker with a lot of finishes by KO TKO, and has a really good wrestling. You saw that last fight with Melvin Manhoef. He went for a takedown after a takedown, got him down, and dominated him on the ground and knocked him out in the second round with elbows. I mean, that win was absolutely dominating. Before that, it was inside of the UFC. Lost to Jan Blachowicz by first round knockout. Beat Johnny Walker, beat Lalir Latifi, Glover Teixeira, Patrick Cummings, beat Sean O'Connell, Tom Lawler, Fabio Mondenla, I'm not sure if I'm saying the name correctly, beat Jan Blachowicz, fought Jean Vellante, Mauricio Shogun Hua, Jimmy Manuel of V St. Pro. He's been fighting some legit competition his whole entire career. Right now, he has 14 wins and 5 losses. Most of his wins coming by KO TKO or by unanimous decision. 6 KO TKO wins and 11 decision wins on his record so far. He is going to have the height advantage and he is going to have that reach advantage in the fight. 6'3" tall, so a 4-inch height advantage, and he's 79-inch reach. Not really sure what Dolasani Yakshimuradov's reach is, but I assume 100% he's going to have that reach advantage in the fight. No real age advantage. They're both 31 and a half years old. Corey Anderson is the favorite in the fight, which is definitely understandable. He has really good striking. Is he taller fighter? Is he more lengthy fighter? Has really good wrestling. And Dolasani Yakshimuradov is no slouch. Coming from the ACA and ACB, M1, all those organizations over there in Russia. 18 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. 11 KO TKO wins, 4 submission wins, and 3 decision wins. The man has some power, man. If he lands with what? Man, if he lands with one right hand, you're probably going to go out. He's so powerful. 11 knockout wins on his record so far. He's just such a powerful fighter. I've been fighting inside of ACB, inside of ACA. First knockout, third round submission, second round knockout, second round submission, fourth round knockout, and then a decision win in this last fight. I mean, the man is an absolute beast. So much power, really good wrestling skills, but in my opinion, in the striking game, I think Corey Anderson might actually have the advantage because Dolasani Yakshimuradov usually is fighting other guys that don't really have the height and reach that Corey Anderson does, and Dolasan goes out there and he just tries to land that one big right hand and knock you out in the first or second round. That is what he does. If he cannot get that knockout, he goes for the takedown, tries to get you down, use that wrestling, use that grappling, and win the fight by TKO or submission on the ground. But when you're fighting a guy like Corey Anderson, who has a really good striking, has a height advantage, has a reach advantage, also has a really good wrestling, as we saw in that last fight with Melvin Manholt. It's going to be really hard for a guy like Dolasani Yakshimuradov, who's going out there trying to land that one big shot and knock Corey Anderson out. And most likely, in my opinion, that is not going to happen. And he's going to then go for takedowns, trying to make this a wrestling and grappling type of fight. But Corey Anderson also is a wrestler and a grappler with really good takedowns, really good wrestling, and a really good grappling. So, I think the wrestling is going to be very even, honestly. Dolasani Yakshimuradov, very good wrestler, very good ground and pound, pretty good submission skills. Corey Anderson, really good wrestling, really good ground and pound, and not really the best submission skills. But in the striking game, I think Corey Anderson will have the advantage, seeing that he does have the height advantage and the reach advantage. Dolasani Yakshimuradov, the only thing he can do in the striking game, in my opinion, is land that one big right hand. In the grappling game, it's going to be so even. So because the grappling in the wrestling game is going to be so even, in the striking game, in my opinion, Corey Anderson will have the advantage, having the height advantage and having that reach advantage. I think Corey Anderson is going to keep the fight on the feet, and I think he will win the fight by decision. I think if there were to be a finish in this 5-round co-main event at Bellator 257, it would be by Dolasani Yakshimuradov by TKO or KO in the first or second round. But if that does not happen, I think the fight is going to go all the way, and Corey Anderson is going to use that reach advantage. He's going to use that height advantage to win the fight by 30, or sorry, it's a 5-round fight, right? By 49-46 unanimous decision. Should be a really good fight. But guys, Dolasani Yakshimuradov is no slouch whatsoever. Amazing striking and amazing wrestling. He's a beast as well, so this should be a really good co-main event right there. But I do have Corey Anderson winning the fight by 49-46 unanimous decision in the co-main event. And the winner of this fight is going to be fighting Ryan Bader. So I think Corey Anderson and Ryan Bader are going to fight to see who fights in the main event for the $1 million and the Bellator MMA light heavyweight belt. Possibly against Vadim Nemkov, possibly against Phil Davis, maybe Yoel Romero, maybe Anthony Johnson. We'll see about that in the next couple of weeks. But guys, we've reached the main event of Bellator 287. You guys already know what it is. For the Bellator MMA light heavyweight belt, we've got Vadim Nemkov and Phil Davis. This round is a 5-round main event. This is the second time these guys will be fighting each other. And the last time they fought was, I believe, 2.5 years ago. And it was a split decision win for Vadim Nemkov in a super, super close fight. I mean, the wrestling was really, really even. Vadim Nemkov got a takedown on Phil Davis. A little bit of that time was spent in the clinch. Phil Davis did get a takedown and got Vadim Nemkov's back. I believe the end of the third round in their fight, it was a very, very close fight in the striking game. Vadim Nemkov was a much faster fighter in the striking game. I was using those leg kicks really, really good. His right hand, his jabs, everything was working well for him in that fight. But that third round, Phil Davis ended up coming back and winning that third round. The first, second round were really, really close. I mean, it was a really, really close 3-round fight that they had 2.5 years ago. But this fight in a 5-round main event for the Bellator MMA light heavyweight belt, this is a 5-round main event. It's going to the 4th and 5th round. Both fighters have a lot of power in their hands. Phil Davis and Vadim Nemkov combined have only been finished one time in their professional MMA career, and that one time was against Jiří Procházka by first round knockout. You already know Jiří Procházka has like 25 KO wins on his record. That is the only time either fighters have been finished by KO on their record. So I think this fight is 100% gonna go all the way. Both fighters are not really prone to getting finished by KO or submission. So I think this fight is gonna go all the way. Phil Davis is 36.5 years old, does have that height advantage, does have that reach advantage, 6'2" tall, so a 2-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage over Vadim Nemkov in the fight. But in the striking game, I will give Vadim Nemkov the advantage. I mean, he just beat Ryan Bader by KO in the second round. I mean, he dropped Ryan Bader like 4 or 5 times combined in that fight. I mean, it was absolutely insane. Before that, beating Javier Carvalho, before that, beating Phil Davis, and doing really, really good inside of Bellator. Before that, beating Felipe Lins and Liam McGarry. I mean, the man's an absolute beast. A lot of finishes on Vadim Nemkov's record, and a decent amount of finishes for Phil Davis. Look right here, 6 KO wins, 5 submission wins, and 11 decision wins. The fight's going all the way. I don't see a finish from Phil Davis, and I do not see a finish from Vadim Nemkov in the fight, because Phil Davis is just so durable. But this fight is staying on the feet. We might see a little bit here and there where we see the fight go into the clinch. Maybe we see Vadim Nemkov trying to kind of secure the round with a takedown or with some clinch shots, something like that. We might see the same exact thing from Phil Davis, because he also has some very, very good wrestling of his own, and might use that takedown, might use that ground and pound and submission skills to get the fight down and make it a little bit more of a grappling and clinch-based fight. But the only reason I see Vadim Nemkov or Phil Davis doing that is to secure the round. Other than that, the fight is staying on the feet, and this is going to be a kickboxing fight. But Vadim Nemkov, his leg kicks, his jabs, he's so fast, he moves so well. I think in the striking game, Vadim Nemkov will have the advantage. In my opinion, the only way Phil Davis will win the fight is if he goes out there and puts on the pressure on Vadim Nemkov in the striking game, and then goes for takedowns, gets him down, and wins the fight by decision in the grappling game, and putting on that pressure in the striking game. That is the main way I see Phil Davis winning the fight, but I do not think that is going to happen. I think Vadim Nemkov, one of the best light heavyweight fighters in the entire world, I think he's going to go out there and win this fight by unanimous decision. It's going to be a really, really close fight, just like the last time. But that was 2.5 years ago. Vadim Nemkov is getting more and more into his prime, becoming a more and more better fighter in the striking game, in the grappling game, in the wrestling game. Phil Davis is getting older and older, kind of diminishing his striking, diminishing his speed, diminishing his athleticism, all those types of things. So I think this fight is going to stay on the feet for the most part, and Vadim Nemkov, in my opinion, will have that advantage. So I am going to be going with Vadim Nemkov to secure that Bellator MMA light heavyweight belt and go on to fight Yoel Romero or Anthony Rumble Johnson, and the winner of that, in my opinion, will fight the winner of Ryan Bader, and then Corey Anderson. A lot of really good fights for Bellator 257, Nemkov versus Davis 2. 13 fights on the entire fight card. Vadim Nemkov, Phil Davis. I have Vadim Nemkov winning his fight. I have Corey Anderson winning against his fight. I have Paul Daly beating his fight. Sorry. I have Desiree Yanez winning in her fight. I have Lance Gibson Jr. winning in his fight. I have DeMarcus Jackson winning in his fight. I have Alfred Kashayan winning his fight. I have Victor Nemkov winning his fight. I have Julia Budd dominating her fight. I have JJ Wilson winning his fight. I have Masvidal winning his fight. I have Steve Mowry dominating his fight. Probably going to be like a minus 2,000 favorite in that one. And then I have Julius Iglesias winning his fight. A lot of really good fights on the fight card. If you guys have any questions on any of these fights or Bellator 257, put that in the comment section below. A lot of really good fights. But yeah, that is my full card prediction for Bellator 257. Any questions, anything like that, put in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe, everything like that. But that is it, guys. That is my Bellator prediction.